city of Denver, the state of Colorado, you guys have been fucking amazing for the last 10
years. Let me start off with a Twitch feed this morning, and I got to get the whole name right. Mile High Hockey Lab.
The city of Denver, the state of Colorado, you guys have been fucking amazing for the last 10 years.
Let me start off with a Twitch feed this morning, and I got to get the whole name right. Mile High Hockey Lab.
The city of Denver, the state of Colorado, you guys have been fucking amazing for the last 10 years.
From Spectrum Community Services Studios in Colorado, USA, this is the Mile High Hockey Lab.
Hello, everybody. No?
Okay, now I can hear you.
And I can't hear you. And so that's weird. So,
from Spectrum Community Services Studios in Colorado, USA, this is the Mile High Hockey Lab.
Now can you hear me?
I don't hear anything. That's so weird.
Okay, I hear both of you.
We're trying without Adrian, and it's not going great so far. I'm not sure why, but Brennan, I imagine they can hear you. So why don't you talk a little bit?
What are we talking about? So, or Jackie can start it off with her.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
I can hear you too. Could you hear me the whole time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what the deal was. Headphones didn't get selected correctly. But hi everybody. Welcome to the Mile High Hockey Lab. I think I already said that, but hey, we're off to a hot start, so I'll say everything again. This show, we're going to talk about the Avalanche. That's what we do. We've got Brennan from Hockey Mountain High. We've got Jackie from Mile High Hockey. Our intrepid host, Adrian Hernandez, is out today dealing with, let's see, what would be funny for him to be dealing with?
Dad duty.
That would be the truth, but a good joke would be contemplating a run for president in 2028.
Friends of the family.
That's right. Great. Well, you guys, we got a lot to talk about with the Avalanche. It's been an up and down week, I would say. A bit more down than up, perhaps. A lot of bodies out of the lineup. Some we're hoping to have come back in the next week or so, maybe to help turn things around. But the Avs do still sit in first place in the Central. 2-point lead on the Dallas Stars with a game in hand. And, of course, first place in the Central is also first place in the NHL. But let's start talking about that Pittsburgh game back on Monday. I was unable to watch it, but I did read a lot, and it was depressing. Jackie, let's start with you. What were your takeaways from that Pittsburgh matchup?
Well, that was like an eternity ago. Yeah, it was terrible. I think did we flog it? Did we flog it enough on our Tuesday show?
That makes sense.
Yeah, they just weren't into that game. I guess the first period was okay. But
let me change the question since you talked about it on Tuesday, and I missed Tuesday with a family situation. But how did you like the bounce back in the Dallas game after that disappointing Pittsburgh game?
I kind of expected that. I'm pretty sure I said that on the show that they knew it was a big game. They were going to give a good effort, and I think that's what we got. So it was what I expected. Usually they they get their what together and focus on a big game. So the test will be to continue doing that when they have a little less exciting matchup on this road trip.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, for me, I having not seen Pittsburgh and watching Dallas, I knew that game was something that I needed to see some high energy, high effort from the team. It sounded like that was what was missing on Monday, and also some efficient goaltending to start the game, and that definitely happened. Brennan, I know that the game ended up being a loss, right? But I think there was a lot of positive to take away from it. Another shootout matchup against Dallas. What were your takes?
Yeah. Well, the fact that they scored an actual power play helped, and that Cale Makar did it essentially from the blue line. So, because he has not been scoring from the blue line. I'd mentioned that earlier in the year that he'd been shooting 6 feet closer and still wasn't really getting very,
Wasn't he closer on this one? I mean, he wasn't all the way back there.
Well, I mean, I was watching 2 games at the same time, so.
He skated in a bit to about the top of the circles, I'd say.
That's like his favorite spot.
Yeah, it was a great shot.
Yeah, because I had I can turn my computer around, but I literally had 2 TVs right next to each other. I had Eagles and Avs going on at the same time. So yeah, it was overwhelming in the head, at least to watch 2 at once. But I mean, I like their play from what I could see. They need to put that effort into every game, and in my opinion, if they can do that every game, they can win.
But they won't. That's the thing.
That's the problem. They won't, and they have quite a bit of a schedule going ahead of them. They've got 2 against Winnipeg. I think one against Chicago, and Chicago's been playing well for them at least, and then. One more against Dallas after this. So Dallas is going to be out for blood again because they don't want to be embarrassed. And so it's going to be a tough schedule ahead from what I can see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair.
I don't as I mentioned on the other show, I don't like on paper it looks easy because they're playing a lot of easy teams. And we know how that goes sometimes. But I don't like a lot of the rematches, like Calgary 3 times in 2 weeks. St. Louis on a home and home, Winnipeg on a home and home. Like they're not going to win all those games.
No.
So that part of the schedule is concerning for me anyway.
Yeah, especially with the bodies they have out of the lineup. I know they're not some of the high end pieces, but they really do have a lot of the wings that put in work, if you know what I mean. The high work rate wingers are the guys who are all out, and that seems to have contributed to some slower starts. That seems to have contributed to some difficulty in board battles, some lack of defensive responsibility from the forward group. It's really been difficult. Do we have any I haven't seen anything, but do either of you know of any updates on those injuries?
I guess
go ahead.
You can say.
They all skated today. I believe one is Corey didn't specify from the post. He didn't specify who it was going to be, but they thought they were going to get one back on Sunday.
I would guess, if I had to guess, I would say Colton, because his injury was never that serious. And Bednar kept saying it was about soreness. So the fact that he hasn't been on the ice since whenever he got hurt a week ago or so. So the fact that he was on the ice today, I think means that he's over the hump. That would be my guess. The whole we expect everyone, or we're hoping for everyone back on the road trip, I think is funny because you can hope for anything, right?
Right.
I'm not quite sure because the company line, even just a week ago, was like, oh, they'll be back before playoffs. Well, this road trip and playoffs, there's quite a gap. So I think they're all on the ice now. Lekkonen's is an upper body injury, so him skating really isn't indicative of him returning in any sort of imminent fashion. So I would say probably not him. We've been talking about O'Connor for a couple weeks. It does seem like he's ramping up. They nixed the idea of him getting into a conditioning stint just because they need people desperately. So I think it was on the Dallas broadcast, or no, not Dallas, the Pittsburgh broadcast that EJ was on. He said something like O'Connor told him they're thinking about next week, kind of targeting that. So I'd still say that's probably on the table. So if I had to guess, I would say those two. And then Landy, it was always about, he's been skating for a few days too. It's probably just about him meeting the time frame of what they want him to sit out if it was X number of weeks. So I guess it's
Well,
possible too. If I had to guess, maybe possibly everyone will play by next week, but I'd say Lehkonen will not. I think that one's a little bit selling to sell because he can skate for weeks before he can actually play.
it's with Landy. I think Bednar even mentioned he's fine. They just got to wait for the swelling to go down.
Yeah, he's probably given
Which,
you can't play for X number of weeks, so he has to
yeah,
abide by that.
yeah, and yeah, I think the puck took the brunt of that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an area where selling going down would enable you to skate, right? If you can skate on it, you're maybe okay, but yeah, they have to be cautious with that for sure. I think for me, I'm most excited to see Lehkonen back, just because of that severity of the injury. Like we said, obviously, I want all the guys to come back, but that feels like that's when the lineup will be really in a state that we're looking to see it, with splitting up all three centers down the middle in Kadri and Nelson and McKinnon. Obviously, getting a full set of wingers would be very useful for the team. I think going forward, getting Kadri settled into a middle of the lineup spot. With Lehkonen, though, I mean, I've watched that play a number of times where he got hurt. I'm sure we all at the time did a little bit, and it really screamed shoulder injury to me. Which those are the kinds of things.
That's my guess.
Yeah, and those are the kinds of things that, like,
dislocation. You probably feel okay in a week or so, but they just won't let you play because it could fall out
any
easily.
contact could re-injure you, right? So you have to really get that solid. So honestly, if they hold him out to the playoffs, I wouldn't be in shock about that. But I do want to speak on a little bit on Jackie, your point about the lineup or the coming schedule with all the back-to-backs. I mean, the first one that we'll see, the first recent rematch that we'll see is Pittsburgh next week. And we just got trounced by Pittsburgh, so you'd expect to see some serious pushback in that one. Then
I pretty much guarantee a win in that one. I was going to save that one for the relevant bold prediction, but
well, Crosby's going to be back for
week.
That one too. So
yeah,
he's back already, right? So
but he came back the next game.
Yeah, which is fine.
Malkin's going to be back. They're going to have Crosby back. They're going to.
I still guarantee a win. I guarantee it.
I don't know if they're going to have Gerard back, but I mean, Soliev didn't play that bad when he played against us. So
it is funny that their pair, when both guys are healthy, is Gerard Soliev.
Is that a shocker?
No.
They played together here, so
yeah. It's just surprising.
Wasn't he playing with Letang?
With Letang,
yeah.
Gerard got some time with him,
yeah. He started that way, and then they put him together with Soliev, and it's like, gee, imagine that they have chemistry because they've already played together. Shocker.
Yeah. Well, tonight's matchup against Chicago is not a recent rematch, but we did see Chicago in Denver Saturday, February 28th, and that was a win for the Avs, a 3-1 win with Blackwood in net. I think it's safe to bet on Blackwood going again since we saw Wedgwood in Dallas.
I think so. I think they confirmed Blackwood.
They confirmed it. Great.
I think so.
Tonight.
Tonight, yeah. How are we feeling about Blackwood? What makes a successful start for him tonight?
I guess a win.
I don't feel good about it. Not allowing 3 or 4 goals and then a win.
And Chicago's always a weird one because the Avs tend to have a little bit of trouble with Chicago, and Chicago just beat Minnesota yesterday. I think they beat them twice this week.
They went to they got beat by Minnesota in Chicago, and then they won
rematch
in Minnesota.
Right there.
Because they did a home and home.
And now this will be the second half of a back-to-back for them.
I do expect the Avs to win. I just sometimes those Chicago games can go a little tricky. I I don't know. I think Blackwood will be fine. Like, I don't think it's like he fell off some cliff or something. I think he has more ups and downs. I think kind of his game has bigger swings. I don't know. I think he'll put in a good response.
Yeah, I like the optimism. I think so too. I've been a big Blackwood supporter for since he came here, but we've seen in recent years, and I've said on this podcast before, goalies who miss training camp really just never find their footing. So for him to do that would be wonderful, but I think the leash has to be short. It's just a truism for goaltenders, unfortunately. But I don't think we're going to see any healthy player or any injured players return tonight unless Colton miraculously comes back. But it doesn't seem the way that it's going to go. So in the Dallas game, we saw Ivan come into the lineup and play all of 3 minutes. Most likely, I think, because Zakhar Bartikov was having such a bad game, they just couldn't get that line out there.
I was
just going to say Ivan didn't do too much to earn extra ice time himself. Brandon, I'll go to you first on this one. What are you looking for from that fourth line? Are you expecting more time on ice this time around? What are you expecting?
Well, it depends on what Bartikov does, but Ivan has also been struggling with penalties down in Loveland.
I looked it up. There's quite a few that take more penalties than him.
Well, yeah, but like the timing of his penalties are a problem. They're at key times when he's trying to push the play a little bit more. So yeah, it's an increase. Like when there's like 5 minutes left in the game, he always seems to be getting a penalty. So yeah, he's not getting more penalties, but it's the situation of the penalties that are the problem. And that could have been why they limited his amount of play last game.
Just because it was a big boy game. They just want to play the vets. Like they probably, if you asked before the game, Benner probably would have said like 5 minutes. Like it's just, they were never going to play that much in that game. It's funny, the broadcast actually pointed out Ivan saving Kulak's bacon because he tossed a pizza in the neutral zone, and Ivan got to it first and was able to at least bat it back in the D zone. And so they actually pointed that out. They're like, wow, look at a great play from Ivan. So I guess to say like he did absolutely nothing. Well, he did something enough that the broadcast caught something.
Yeah, he's an effective player. He's just not an eye-popping player at any time. So it is those responsible plays that he has to keep making and earn ice time that way. But it is a challenge with Bartikov kind of turning his brain off a little bit in that one. Jackie, what did you see from Bartikov? What are you looking for from him this game?
I guess to repeat, what was the game that he did the best in was the Edmonton game, and they still only played him 9 minutes. He's the best when he's being aggressive on the forecheck, when he's getting chances. He might not quite have the hands to finish most of them, but I mean, the whole bottom six, they're not skilled. I mean, it's just so funny. It's like, oh, Drury and Parker Kelly coming in the zone. It's like, yeah, it's not going to happen. And it's like, oh, and they just missed the net. Yeah, surprising. So, he might not finish on a lot of his chances, but when he's playing the best, you notice the skating, the aggressiveness, the forecheck. I think they all can do it. I think that line has potential. Those three has potential. I mean, Brindley scored the game-winning goal against Chicago in 3 minutes of ice time. So if there's a game to really kind of give it a try, it should be this one, because hey, in the playoffs, you're going to lose guys. You might need to dress some of these players. So I think being so, I don't know what the word is, conservative is not the word I'm looking for, but just pretty much sticking to only the vets, you're doing yourself a disservice, because anything you invest in these guys now in a game against the Chicago Blackhawks that is entirely meaningless is going to help you down the line, but we'll see.
Well, I think, investing in the younger players, giving them some extra time makes a lot of sense, but we do need to see some more from the top of the lineup, I think. The Dallas game was a 2-1 game. Chicago's game against Minnesota was 2-1. Brennan, are you looking for an explosion of offense? Both these teams coming back. Do you expect a similar result, low scoring?
I want more goals, and I don't want anything from Blackwood. I think a shutout would be nice from him, but to help get his confidence up, because the boy needs it, to be honest. And he needs a good game. He needs a solid game, and he needs to get more saves than 5 shots, first 5 shots, than he has been. So I think we need to look for Blackwood to get something like that.
The one from a few weeks ago, that was a low scoring, wasn't it? Like 3-1 or something. Yeah, so that's a little surprising. I would think that there might be a little bit more offense in this game, maybe like 4-2 kind of situation.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Both teams have enough firepower that they're not going to keep it low scoring twice in a row, most likely. And Colorado in particular had the one Makar goal, right? But no even strength goals is just not the way that this Avalanche team has been performing all season. It has been maybe the last little stretch here from time to time, but it hasn't been how they've shown up all season. So I would expect to see a little bit more. I wonder how much the top line shuffling has affected things, because with Landeskog out of the lineup and then Kadri coming over in trade, Kadri immediately slotted onto that top line and looked like a good fit. But I think just to get some scoring balance throughout the lineup, throughout the lineup, Bednar pulled him off, putting Nichushkin up there. Jackie, what are your thoughts on Nichushkin on the top line versus Kadri? Anything jump to mind for you from that?
I feel like that position isn't really settled. Like, I really don't think Landeskog should be there long term. Likkonen's good there for a good stretch, but I think it's good every once in a while that he's not there either. So maybe that is kind of the answer. They need to get Nichushkin really going, and I think in the playoffs that probably would be the biggest swing, like the difference. If they can really get Nichushkin rolling in the playoffs, then he's definitely a difference maker. So if putting him on that top line is what gets it done, then maybe that is the best idea. Also, like, he's good on the power play, and they just seem to not quite love keeping him there. So maybe a little bit more consistency with what they do with Nichushkin would be helpful.
Yeah, Nuke's been on the second power play unit the majority of the year. I think he's only been up for a few games on the first power play unit.
Mm-hmm.
But then he usually was good. So
which kind of ticks me off. So it's like he's successful when he's there, and they don't keep him there. Whatever really makes sense.
Fits the same role as Nelson on that power play, and they've just favored Nelson there, which, take that or leave that. I know it's worked at times and it hasn't worked at times. But we should touch on the power play, because something that came out of Bednar's press conference after the Dallas game, and also just from seeing the way the power play has been performing since Kadri came over, Kadri's taken up a spot on that right wall that maybe used to be Rantanen or Drouin or whoever else used to occupy that spot, and has really seemed to be an effective player at settling pucks down over there and distributing from that spot in a way that's not just giving it to Cale Makar and seeing what happens next, which I've really liked. I mean, I think Kadri seems like we saw him obviously in the playoff run and previous seasons when he was here be an effective player on the power play, but I feel like he's kind of opened things up on that side. They've been able to distribute from the right to the left to get one-timers for Necas and McKinnon and Makar in a way that it didn't seem like they were able to throughout the season prior to his arrival. Jackie, I'll go to you with this one. Do you see the same thing I'm seeing? Does Kadri seem like a great fit there to you as well?
Yeah, I think he helps the power play. I like how I know in their setup he's more on the right side, but then I think when the play gets going, he moves kind of a little bit more inside. So yeah, I think that's helped. I also think if you're looking at results, it coincides with the idea of moving Necas more over in the left circle, moving McKinnon down. So I think those two things combined has helped the power play. So it doesn't surprise me they found a little bit more success. I still kind of feel like how I felt before. I think that there was room for a little upwards regression for it to be significantly better. I think would take significant changes. But sure, when you're adding somebody that gives play or power play success, it's going to help. And then the new idea with changing up the left sides also helped. So I think it's kind of both.
Yeah, Bednar specifically called out Kadri's ability to quickly settle pucks and move them somewhere unexpected instead of always going back to Makar. Which
I think that's definitely what they needed, because they have trouble kind of some guys just can't really keep possession. That was always like Burakovsky's problem. Like they'd love to have his shot on the power play, but he could not keep that puck in or win that battle. So
yeah, Olofsson had the same problem. I think Olofsson was a turnover machine over there.
Yeah, it just wasn't going to happen. So I agree that somebody that brings a well-rounded skill set on the power play is going to help it.
Yeah, I completely agree. Brennan, do you see any changes coming to the power play when guys start coming back healthy?
I see maybe Landy getting some time on the wall where Kadri's at, but other than that, I don't see really anything else. I mean, I'd written something in February about this type of situation, is that they were lacking someone on that spot that was really having some impact where Rantanen was.
Mm-hmm.
And Kadri's been that role now since he's come in, and they've had a little bit more success, and now they've been able to kind of have a little bit more mobility on that left side. Natchez has been very good over there, and he's been able to move around a lot more, and it makes that threat just a little bit more on that left side. Having McKinnon low, to me, is more of a threat because he's such a good passer. He's not just a shooter. He is an awesome passer, and people don't realize that.
Yeah, I think they've been really kind of neutering his abilities by, like, his shot isn't Ovi. He doesn't shoot like that. He's not like the one-timer guy. And then to lean more into his passing, maybe got a little inspiration from McDavid. It was like, he's not McDavid in that area, but he's an elite player, and they've kind of not been utilizing that.
Well, you look at how many assists he's had in the last few years, and then, you compare that to the goals, and the goals have yes been going up, but he's also been getting more assists lately too. So he sees the ice just as well when he's shooting as just as well as when he's passing. So people don't realize that he's an assist machine, and that needs to be utilized, like you said.
Yeah, I completely agree. I like the new look power play. It's not a huge new look, but it's a significant one, I think. And we've also seen a new look a little bit on the back end, specifically in this Dallas game. We got Brett Kulak paired with Cale Makar on the page on the lineup sheet, right? But obviously we did see Devontae's play with him as well throughout the game. But I'm curious what you guys think about switching up those D pairs, putting Kulak up with Makar, putting Malinsky with Taves, and then keeping Manson Burns together, but then also sometimes breaking up Manson Burns and letting Malinsky play with Manson a little bit. Brennan, I'll go to you first with this one. Did you see did you like what you saw from the defense with these changes?
About freaking time. That's all I have to say is, yes, Taves and Makar are good, but sometimes a little bit of change is a good thing. And we saw how much they were shutting down the offense of Dallas with only 2 shots on goal in the first 20 minutes, 7 in the first 40. Come on. Isn't that a sign? I mean, yes.
Isn't that Dallas? That's been Dallas the whole year.
Well, but still, to be able to shut down something like some team with only 7 shots in 40 minutes, give me a break. That's also a defensive game. And the fact that they didn't allow a goal that was that, I can't say, I think the Robinson goal wasn't close, but it wasn't like on top of the freaking crease.
Yeah, and it took an incredible bounce directly to his stick off of
that goal is crazy. Yeah, that could have been a goal twice, and then it's still.
Yeah, like I looked over, I looked down, and all of a sudden I just see Jason Robinson celebrating, like, oh, I guess they scored.
I feel
Yeah.
like, maybe the best part of the switches is moving Taze down. I think he's been propped up a little bit. Like I saw on Twitter someone posted his isolated impact card from this year, and it's like, maybe we're, people don't want to look at him and be critical, but maybe we should. Maybe it is time
Yeah.
to kind of move him down a pair. And I think if they find more overall success in the D core doing that, maybe that's something they need to think about more moving forward. I know that they'll put him with Makar when they need to generate offense, which is kind of funny because he hasn't had offense all year. But obviously they trust the pair together. But I think maybe we need to start having the conversation. Should Taze be more of a second pair guy? And it might balance this defense out better because, like I've said multiple times, I do not buy the Manson Burns as a second pair. So, I think there does need to be some changes made there.
I don't think they should be the second pair because we all know.
Well,
I
they
think
don't
you
have
actually.
That's the thing. They don't have a second pair.
Well, and
Like,
I
I don't
think
want to
you
hear the
even said
Kulak
it.
and
The
Malinsky
less.
is the second pair. Like, if you want to have a second pair, it has to be Taze and someone, or else
Well,
I'm like no other combination is the second pair. I don't care.
I mean,
what.
heck, if you do that, you can throw Manson up on the his natural side. But
Well,
the less that Manson plays, the more effective he is when he plays those minutes. So I think you even said that last week.
yeah, and Burns too. I mean, both of them need to be limited a bit at this point in the way that they're performing. And I think we're going to see a lot of Manson in the playoffs. He tends to raise his game in the playoffs, so to maybe save him for that would be helpful. Cut his minutes down a little bit now to let him ride in the playoffs. To me, I do think the way that Kulak has performed is also a part of this, right? Like he's come in and been a really good fit. We saw the pizza that we talked about earlier that Ivan had to clean up, but for the most part, I think his puck skill is just his puck skill under pressure is the one thing that's been maybe a blemish, but his defense, his speed, his reads on the ice have been really effective, and it makes sense that he's a guy being given a shot or I guess being trusted to have a shot, taking on some top pair minutes with Makar. It looks like we have Adrian here. Adrian, did you add yourself in order to talk, or should I remove you?
I didn't mean to add myself to talk, but since I have the capability, I figure I might as well real fast.
Yeah, please do. Yeah. What are your takes on everything we've been talking about? I know you've been listening.
As he bounces a kid on his hip.
Yeah. No, I noticed you guys were talking about the defensive pairs. I noticed I wrote the pregame today for the Avs Blackhawks for the Mile High Hockey site. And two things I thought were interesting were that Chicago appears to be in the 11-7 scenario that the Avs just kind of threw under the bus. And then simultaneously, I noticed that they do have Taves as the bottom pairing defender with Malinsky. I don't know if that's just based on a hunch or what they saw against Dallas, because it seemed pretty fluid. I don't know if you guys have touched on that.
I mean, yeah, I would never write him as third pair because we know minutes wise that's absolutely not going to happen. So, to me that's a little off. And the funny thing is about 11-7 is they used to do it forever. Like I remember when Gerard was young, they did 11-7 a lot. In the past they've done it actually quite a bit. So it's funny that they're like, oh my God, it's so disruptive. It's like you guys used to mix pairs every game. Yeah, it's just kind of funny, but it got the job done. It got someone called up so that they could play 3 minutes. But hey, at least they had 12 forwards. Like that's what that was about.
and I mean, playing defense and not playing with your normal partners it's different.
But they used to do it all the time. That used to be their competitive advantage.
I'm talking from personal experience because I had the same D partner for 2 years, and whenever I got stuck on the ice with someone that wasn't my D partner, it was like I look over and I'm like, wait, why aren't you in that spot that you should be? And you need to get over about 5 more feet, dude. Because I'd be able to pass it to him without even looking because we're that comfortable with each other. And I mean, and we only played once a week. these guys are practicing how many hours a week, and they're playing, upwards of 4 times a week. So you can only imagine what that does by throwing someone else in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was talking to a scout while I was at the Eagles game who played professional. He played DEL and AHL defensive. And he's like, I hated playing 11-7 because it's the same situation. It just threw your chemistry off, and it just threw your groove off, and you never knew who you were going out there with. You never knew how fast you're going to have to go because you didn't know how fast they were going to go. And if you didn't talk, you just, everything was thrown off.
And I think this was a particularly difficult 11-7 because it was working in a guy in Nick Blankenberg who nobody's really practiced with because they haven't had a lot of practice time since the trade deadline. You've got Brent Burns, who's kind of unpredictable in how effective he's going to be any night to night. So you don't really know what you're getting from two guys. That makes it tough to really mix and match a lot. But on the flip side, these are professional hockey players who should be able to play effectively with anybody, right? So it makes sense for us to have a higher expectation than for you in men's league, or for me in men's league playing 3 years with my dad as my D partner, just knowing exactly what he's going to do because he taught me to do all of it.
Yeah.
But it is tricky. You switch things up, and one wrong read just because you made an assumption can lead to a breakdown, and we saw a lot of breakdowns. So I do think it's reasonable to think that's where that was coming from. Ado, did you want to comment on anything else we've been talking about?
I think he's.
I would say, I noticed you guys talked about the goalies and how they're going to go with Blackwood tonight. I'm hoping this is one of those games that could serve as kind of like a springboard, but it won't be one where it's like the Avs limit them to the Blackhawks to like 20 shots, and Blackwood gets the win. I want to see him like steal a game, and I think that the Blackhawks have the shooting prowess to test a goalie, and we've seen, like Jackie mentioned, they have struggles sometimes with the Blackhawks. So I think it'll be a more of a test than people are really acknowledging right now, and I hope that it's one that Blackwood passes with flying colors, because it'd be nice to have both goalies rolling going into April.
Well, and that's assuming that they can shut down Bedard, because Bedard has been a little bit, he's been on fire lately.
Yeah, and the Blackhawks as a whole, they are definitely at the bottom of the Central, but you put them in the Pacific, they're probably in a playoff spot. They're playing good hockey. They're just not able to win because a lot of the Central teams are playing better hockey. But specifically around shots, I mean, that's a good point, Ado. They're not going to hold them under 20. Nobody really has lately. Chicago's been a productive offensive team. Even when they're not scoring, they're putting up numbers. So it will be a tougher test. The other test that we'll have between now and our next show on Tuesday is a morning game against Washington over on the East Coast on Sunday morning. Washington,
it's real early.
Yeah, I know.
Like 9:30 for you, Ezra. Jeez.
Yeah, 9:30 for me, and I've gotten a 11 o'clock appointment, so I'm gonna have to miss the third period, unfortunately. But I'll watch it later, of course. But yeah, I mean, this Washington matchup, they're an interesting team. They sold some older players at the deadline, brought in some younger players at the same time. They've been okay since that trade. Let me look at their actual results real quick. Yeah, up and down, win loss against various teams here. What are we looking for in that matchup? I think I'll go to you first, Jackie.
Washington's interesting. I still think they're a good team. I know that they've kind of taken a step back this year, but I sort of expected that. They're just kind of really working in the new era, their new identity. But, I mean, they could beat you. They've just been more inconsistent this year. But if their A game shows up there, they could be tough, and especially that early. So I don't know. I could see that one go either way. I could see the Avs win it easily. I think they won their first game against each other. The Avs won pretty easily. But right. Like I said, if the young players and everyone shows up, it could be tougher than people might expect. So we'll see. That one's a little hard to peg. Like, we talked about the Pittsburgh. I think they're definitely going to win that one. And so that might be kind of like the sleepy one that maybe they don't take quite as seriously.
Yeah, Colorado beat the Caps 5-2 back in January at home, and that was in between losses to Nashville and Anaheim. So kind of the reverse situation we're saying perhaps, where they are playing teams that they're a little more expected to be competitive against, and maybe could overlook the Caps. Brennan, same thoughts or anything to add there?
Well, speaking of them getting younger, they brought in a Cole Hudson, who, which is great. He is the first player that Ovi has played with that is born after his career started.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so now he is officially the old man.
Yeah,
because
that makes
now
him
he's
hockey
playing.
grandpa.
Yeah, he's now playing with guys who have literally were born after he started playing.
And Hudson has started off hot. He scored in his first game or second game.
One game.
No, I'm sorry, it was his first game.
Yep.
And he started the game. He scored. He's been effective. I think he's the kind of player. Obviously, his brother Lane is the model, but really Cale Makar is the model for these young defensemen who are, playing with offense, playing with pace. He's an exciting young player. I think it should be fun to see that matchup. And we'll see what we get. Ado, do you want to add anything to that Washington matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I look at Washington and they're kind of just a curious team. I'm really interested to see how the next few years go for them. They kind of successfully did the mini rebuild to get back to the playoffs, along with some really great goaltending last year. But they still have Protas, they still have Ovechkin and Tom Wilson. So it's you'd think that Ovi's going to play for 3 or more years at least, because all he's asked to do is stand on the dot and rip one-timers. I mean, his ask isn't really that crazy, but he's also still effective. So he's probably going to keep playing. I imagine they're going for that again. So they're a team that could beat you on any given night, but probably aren't going to be a playoff team this year. But I bet you they are the next few. Not maybe consecutively, but among the next few.
Oh, I think they'll be a playoff team next year.
Yeah.
I think they'll bounce back.
They
see
actually play their rookies too, because Hudson had 16 and a half minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, they have a lot of young players like Mink Michael and I can't think of the others off the top of my head. Protas actually is a young player.
He is.
So I think that their model of a reset, not a burn it to the ground rebuild. They didn't get rid of every single veteran. You just kind of trim the fat. You bring in some young players, and you don't have to have a 10+ year rebuild. So I think that's the new model that a team should be looking at. Vancouver, go more that direction rather than rip it to the studs.
Oh my gosh.
That just doesn't. You can't really get any traction when you have nothing. So you have to keep some effective players and not sell everybody. But I like Washington. I like what they're doing. The Ovi question's interesting. How many more years? Because I think it's pretty widely known he wants to play in Russia before he truly retires. I think he really wants to play for Dynamo. So, while he could probably play in the NHL for several more years in the role he's in, maybe he is kind of ready to get to the next stage. So we'll see how many more years he plays in the NHL.
Well, he could always pull a Jaromir Jagr and just buy the team and then play for them as long as he wants.
Well, the only reason
he seems like the type to be all right, trade me, and then decide to go play in the KHL in the middle of the season.
Well, there's one reason that Jagr plays for that team is because his dad, I think, was the one who owned it before him, and Jagr's yeah. And then when his dad died, he got the team, and then he feels like if he doesn't play, it doesn't bring a crowd, and then also if he retires, of course, the team won't bring in fans and everything, and the team will go bankrupt, and that's a piece of his dad that he loses.
And he's the
that's
injury
wonderful
fill-in.
content.
So, like, instead of calling up from their minor league, just have him suit up.
Yeah, it's kind
genius.
of it's honestly with Yager, it's kind of a depressing situation because he's like, pushing mid 50s, 60s years old, and he's like, I don't think I can retire. That's my problem.
Oh,
You
nobody
guys,
would make him do it if he
54.
truly didn't want to.
Yeah, no, he
well,
loves it.
and he'll be first ballot once he does finally retire.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Do y'all want me to do a manual bold predictions real fast from my backyard? Sure. All right. Well, we'll start with last episode's. I keep screwing that up because I'm not used to us doing 2 episodes a week. So
do you want me to do the
I think I got it. I think I can do this.
Okay.
Yes,
cool.
I think so. If not, I'll just start doing it with my mouth, and then we'll go from there. But Evan said that there would be 8 goals in the Dallas and Colorado game. That is a hard no. Jackie, you said that there would be a fight between Colorado
No fight.
and Dallas. We got close, but we absolutely made the distinction that like the little scuffles didn't count. So I think that's kind of all we've got.
That.
Brennan, you said 2-1 win for Avalanche. So you were right, but unfortunately you were wrong. And then last but definitely not least was me predicting a 3-point night for Val Nichushkin, and per usual as of late, except for when I cheer against or I guess choose against the Avalanche, I am once again wrong as hell. So there you go. There's bold predictions live from my backyard, courtesy of Brews Ale House Brewing Company.
Wow, well done. I didn't know it was possible to do it from the backyard, but now we know.
Dude, I'm doing it
better
from
than the garage, right?
Much better than the garage.
Oh,
and I'm doing my stuff from
retired.
I-25, so yeah, it's possible.
Well, great. I guess let's get into bold predictions for today then. We'll do our bold predictions just based on these next 2 games since we'll have another show on Tuesday. So bold predictions for the Chicago game tonight or the Washington game on Sunday, or I guess just anything in the Avs-sphere between now and Tuesday. Let's start with you, Jackie. Any are you ready for bold predictions?
Yeah, sure. I have one for Pittsburgh, but I'll save that one. So for tonight, I will say is it bold enough to say there will be 3 power play goals, and both teams can count towards that? Is that bold enough? 3 power play goals?
I think so. 3 power play goals. You don't see that every night. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just for this game, 3 power play goals.
I'll be kind of upset with you if all 3 are for Chicago, but let's just
right.
Yeah, even if it's 2-1 Chicago, I'll be upset. Brennan, how about you?
Frank Nazar goal.
Ooh, okay.
I like him.
Yeah,
I do too. He's a good player. He's scrappy in a way that you don't expect from a guy with that much skill. Ado, how about you?
I got one that's kind of going to piggyback off of Jackie, thinking that there was going to be a fight in the Dallas game. I'm thinking we're going to get a Nazem Kadri fight, scuffle.
Wow, okay.
First one since his return. I think we're due.
Yeah, well, he's not much of a fighter either, too.
No, but he's testy. He's testy. Maybe not a fight. Well, my prediction is a fight, but it'll be something that escalates just beyond what he's used to. Because I'll admit he usually just kind of gets in the scuffles, but he's testy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's more of a jar than a fighter, but we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Twisted.
I will go with I'm gonna go 5 McKinnon points between the 2 games.
Okay.
I know that's not the boldest since he's scoring at a crazy clip lately, but he's also not scoring at a crazy clip for the last few games. So I think it's time for him to bounce back.
I don't think he's even been able to get a lot of shots on goal lately.
He had 5 in the Dallas game.
down.
But or 7, 5 or 7. I can't remember, but yeah, he hasn't
the
been,
games before that, he wasn't getting a lot of shots.
Pittsburgh game. He didn't have.
I know
he
when I
had
picked him
2.
to get 25 shots on goal, that was a big L. That was even close.
Yeah, that did not go well. But all right, those are our bold predictions for this week. Yeah, it was 5 against Dallas. I double checked my work here. Sick.
I
Yeah.
have one question that I wanted to ask, but I don't know. I mean, I may have missed this topic entirely
No, let's do it.
because I missed the beginning of the episode. But I wanted to talk about the kind of narrative about getting Oettingered and the we've heard this theme kind of from the Olympics on, which is like which team deserved. We keep getting thrown the money puck deservo-meter on social media.
Yeah, I'm getting so sick of like deserve and
yeah,
a little
how
bit
are we
of like
feeling
the
about
Avs
that?
were the better team. I don't love that either. Like, I agree with the analytics to a point, but I mean we're starting to use it as a real like prop up. At some point, it's like, yeah, I don't really like the whole deserve part. Well, just because we had the more shots on goal, I think if you look at the expected goals, it was pretty close. So, but it always depends on what metric you're using. Like you can manipulate it so many different ways to make this look good or that look good. So I mean, yeah, they got more shots than Dallas. I watched that game closely. It was a very close game. To say like, we were better and we deserved it, and it's like, no, you've been to a shootout 3 times with this team. You lost twice. Okay, you can call the shootout a coin flip. So essentially, you've tied this team 3 times. It's that close. Can we just admit that? Like, is that so hard to just say it is so close between these 2 teams? I think if they played a series right now, anything could happen. It probably goes 6 or 7 games and it could go either way. Like, is it that wrong to just admit that? Can we admit that as Avs fans?
Exactly. Well, and that's my thing.
That's what's driving me crazy.
Yeah, like multiple things can be true at once, right? So that could have been that was a really good hockey game. And
it was very close. It was
the Avalanche did seemingly have the bulk of those solid opportunities, but there was Oettinger, excuse me. And I posted on X last night that, they're in the exact same position they were last season. Both teams, like no one's conceding an inch from what both realized, which was going right down to the wire against each other and it coming down to a bounce here and there, which is exactly what we saw and have seen in every game this season. So you're right, Jackie. Like, it's okay as an Avalanche fan to admit, like, yes, the Avalanche have their approach and it works, but sometimes it doesn't always work to a win. And so there's a little extra work to be done there, which is beating Oettinger. Even McKinnon mentioned it. I think the real issue with the Avalanche, no matter who's in net, is that they're still kind of overpassing, still passing up on opportunities. Like, I want to see that team that is shooting at the net at an annoying rate, taking opportunities that make no sense, but just a flirt. If they can enter at the rate that they can shoot at that same rate. So that's really what I'm hoping for tonight against Chicago.
When they're dumping and chasing.
Yeah, I mean, they don't do a whole lot of dumping and chasing in the top 6. They do on the bottom 6 for sure, but for the most part, what they're doing is entering, pulling up, looking for a pass. So that's the McKinnon special, but also that seems to be the whole team's ethos. That seems to be what Bednar's looking for from them, is to find that third person entering the zone to create an odd man chance, even when you're in an even man situation. And I think that's kind of like, that's been a successful bread and butter for this team. So I don't think you're going to see the Avs morph into a team that's shooting every time they cross the blue line. That's just not the ethos here. But it would be good to turn all this possession into more actual scoring chances. Looking at the stats from that game, expected goals were 3.5 to 2.28, which is only just over 1 goal difference, but that is pretty significant.
I saw something that was like 2.3 versus 2.1. Now, who knows what was isolated or blown?
Oh yeah, I'm doing including special teams.
Okay, I think
if I go to 5-on-5, it's different numbers too. But I've got 2.92 to 1.67. But regardless, those numbers only tell you so much. You have to also watch the game and apply what you're seeing. And I think what we saw in that game was Colorado dominated possession. They put a lot of shots on net, but as soon as they gave up the puck, they gave up a chance the other way pretty frequently. So that's Dallas's bread and butter, right? That's how they play. So both teams are playing to their identity in a way that makes for an excellent hockey game, but it also means you're going to get a close hockey game because both teams are playing the way they want to play.
And there's a reason why it looks the same every time, because neither team, we hear in the cliche post-game interviews, we just need to play our game. Well, these teams do that most of the time. They stick to their game. And this is how the two versions, Colorado's game and Dallas's game, how they clash every time. So get used to this flow. I ask people if they wear smartwatches, and I don't know if you all do, but if you wear smartwatches during the Avs playoff games or rivalry games, mine always tells me are you exercising?
Yeah, I will say to getting Oettingered, this game last night was not the same as the Minnesota game a couple weeks, maybe a week and a half ago, where Wallstedt was pulling pucks off the goal line left and right. This game was a game where Oettinger made a couple of really nice saves, but for the most part, Dallas was controlling where the puck was coming from, and it was going where they wanted it to. And Colorado's chances were good. There were good chances, right? They generated 3.5 expected goals, but they were also the chances that Dallas wanted to give them. So Oettinger was able to stop them. The Wallstedt game was different. They were buzzing. They were creating chances left and right, and he was playing amazing. That was getting goalied. This one was getting Dallas, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the whole thing where getting goalied is now an excuse for anytime a opposing goaltender even just plays well. It's no, there's a level
just doing
of
their job.
Standing on their head, making multiple incredible stops, this and that. That's more getting goalied.
There's a certain point where you get goalied. It's if you're throwing 55 shots on net and you're still getting shut out, that's getting goalied.
Mm-hmm.
If you're throwing on 35 shots, 30 shots on net, and you're getting shut out, okay, the guy's playing well, but that's him just doing his job.
So I agree that was more this. He played well, but that wasn't the deciding factor. Because Wedgwood played well too.
He did.
I think it was pretty even.
Yeah, I mean the shot attempts. I don't have the actual numbers, but they were. I have the Corsi numbers, which are basically shot attempts, but not exactly. So I'm not going to say them. But the shot attempts were skewed so heavily towards the Avalanche that it does feel a little bit more like getting goalied than just looking at the shots on goal, because Dallas blocked a lot of shots and Colorado didn't have to. But still, it is just the way that the team wants to play.
Yeah, so Dallas blocked 20 shots compared to Colorado's 6.
Yeah, and that's some people who maybe don't know hockey as well might look at that and say, why is Colorado not defending very well? That's not what that is. That is Colorado had the puck the whole time. And that's good. But Dallas knows that, and they are comfortable with that. And especially with no Rantanen and no Hintz, they're playing defense first. So yeah, it's going to be, if they play in the playoffs, it's going to be an awesome series. I do believe though, if Colorado has puck possession like that over 7 games, they will win 4 of them. But they have to actually score goals to do that. So,
well, if Jackie's theory is right, the whole rematch theory that's been the theme, technically the odd number is on Dallas heading into game 1. So it has to settle. Yeah. No, but I'm saying the playoff number, right? So Dallas won the last playoff game. So Avs should win game 1 and then flip flop until they win the whole series. But that's just math.
It's our turn.
Yeah. If you want to do that, then
would win the 4th one, which is on April 6th or 4th or something like that.
April 4th, yeah.
We should just circle that and see if it happens, and if it does, Jackie gets a cake in the mail or something.
Yeah, that one, I think I don't bet on sports, but if you do, it's a smart bet to bet on an Avalanche shootout win on Saturday, April 4th.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that'd be crazy if it's a shootout, but yeah, I expect it'll probably be another tough game, but yeah.
Well, this one has to
sitting
be
next to a
2-1
win.
again, right? Since the first two were 5-4, so this one has
That's
to be
right.
2-1.
If it's a 2-1 Avs shootout win, then that's just totally voodoo. Then we almost don't want a series because that's
it's
a
gonna
little
break the
too
world.
creepy. Yeah. Yeah, but
Well-
yeah, I'm looking for my Pittsburgh and for those home and homes. We'll see.
Well,
See how
and,
many end up being the opposite.
and then as of today, how do we all feel about LA being our first round opponent?
I haven't seen that it was LA. They've, in general, I would say LA would give me a little bit of concern, but the way that they played LA this year, like they definitely handily beat LA. So
Yeah.
I know LA like wants to slow it down, and they would do that, but I don't see them as a huge threat this year. My darkest timeline is either Edmonton or Vegas being that round one matchup. I think you could say that Vegas hasn't played well a year, which is true, but they know how to win. You don't want that as a round one. Same thing with Edmonton. Like, are they really that good? But still, that's not what you want as your prize for winning the President's Trophy. Is getting either of those teams.
I think it's interesting. I don't even know that Dallas handedly beats Minnesota in round one. First of all, so it could very well be that the 10 years we look back, 10 years from now we look back, and it's like, oh yeah, the Avs only ever really did it when Dallas wasn't involved, and Dallas fans will always hold that and put it in the rafters. But if it works out for a cup, I don't care if the Avs don't play Dallas.
Oh, sure.
How about you guys?
Sure.
Well,
you don't. Yeah, you don't complain. You take it.
Well,
It just
can we
feels
even remember the last time we played LA in the first round?
In the first round?
It's been a while.
Yeah, in the first round.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, because that had to have been early 2000s, if not earlier than that.
Yeah.
But considering Gary Bettman and his, we love the playoff format like this that like absolutely no one does anymore except for him.
Yeah.
That the Avs haven't faced Minnesota since the Wall Miracle year, right? In the playoffs, which is unusual.
2014.
To have it be this long. It almost feels like it's due, doesn't it? That the Avs are going to play Minnesota in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of flying under the radar. Like, they're the third best team in the league. It just so happens that all three of them are in the Central.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. I kind of get that feeling. I just have a feeling that, one way or the other that they're going to play Minnesota. Like, it's due. It's been too long to have a division rival in this playoff format, and they haven't faced each other.
Plus, we got to have that young kid do that silly on the Avalanche in the playoffs so that the fans can absolutely lose their minds.
Well, we've been at it over an hour, guys. I think we should get out of here. Brennan, do you have anything else that you'd like to add before we go? Anything you want to plug?
Other than check us out at Hockey Mountain High. I wrote something on how the Avs need to get better when the main guys are out of the lineup. They're the only player that they have a winning record with right now. You'll have to see if you want to check out my article from later today. And then, of course, you can check out Evan's stuff there too. And I will be up in Loveland this weekend for the Eagles games.
Very nice. Ado, same question. Anything you want to add? Anything you want people to take a look at online?
Well, I have my suspicion as to who you're talking about, Brennan, with your article, and we'll just leave it at that. But I'll be reading. And then on a positive side of things, I am there's a Sam Alinsky article coming out tomorrow on milehighhockey.com that you folks can check out. And we'll have the open thread rolling for tonight's game at 6:30 in Chicago, which will be fun. And I want to give a quick shout out to you, Ezra, for picking up the baton today. I watched the beginning of the episode, and by God, I'll just say this. I'm so glad that you understand my pain, because You
Yeah.
saw me struggling during the trade deadline episode in the garage, which has since been retired. So we'll just say that that wasn't nearly as bad as what we saw on deadline day for me in the garage. So don't sweat it. Thank you so much for doing this today. You're covering my butt as I'm on daddy duty, currently watching him play in a sandbox and talking Avs hockey. Life is wonderful. Thank you to the three of you. Appreciate y'all.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was sitting here like, why can't I hear the intro music? Oh well, I'm sure it's fine. And then I couldn't hear anything, but we figured it out. Jackie, I'll throw it to you. The same question. Anything else you want to add? Anything you want people to take a look at online?
Well, of course, head to My High Hockey for all of our game coverage. Every game, we're there. I wrote about injuries, but if you heard this episode, you got the latest scoop, but it's still up there if you want a comprehensive overview of it. Let's see if we have anything good coming. Let's see. Well, the schedule picking up. It'll be a lot of game stuff, but the prospects are all heading into their playoffs. So I think I'm going to write about something soon about where all of our prospects stand in terms of who is still in the postseason. And yes, we still have a couple left. There's a few, so I'll write about those in the coming week or so. So that's what you can expect from us.
Okay, great. All right, great. Well, and for me, I don't have any abs content online. I do have comedy content. If you want to check that out, it's at Ezra Party on Instagram. And we will be back in your ears next week on Tuesday, in your eyes as well. If you're watching us on YouTube, if you are watching us on YouTube, give us a like, give it a subscribe. We really appreciate it. I was with my cousin this weekend who was like, I didn't know you covered hockey stuff, and I was like, yeah, I do. And then he went to YouTube and subscribed, even though he doesn't care about hockey. You can do that too.
That's good. Good
Tell your
family
cousins
member.
to do that too.
All they have to do is just let it play in the background after it posts. That's all they need to do is just do
That's
that.
right. Do it the way I do. Put it on 2x speed and let your computer go to sleep when it's done. That's it for us here at the Mile High Hockey Lab. Like I said, we'll be back on Tuesday, 3:45 Mountain. Mark your calendars. We will see you then. And from all of us here at Mile High Hockey, go Avs.
Bop it.